Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jin. So I'm now going to check out episode 3 of Death Note. And in the previous episode, episode 2, I noticed that I missed something, literally. The moment when L told Light that he figured out where he is, it's because of the first victim. He wrote down that first victim's name and he died of the heart attack. And that news was a local news at the time in Japan, and it wasn't worldwide or anything. So that's why L figured out that this person is definitely in Japan. So I'm just clearing that up. And yeah, and I was thinking too, when that prisoner was talking on the news, I was like, why is L showing his face at the time? But then I didn't realize that that was the setup at the time. But then afterwards I realized, of course. So yeah, I'm seeing that L is practically very chess player like, and he won in episode 2 because his plan worked. So now he figured out exactly that, Light has to see the person and he has to know their name to eliminate that person. And he doesn't know as yet how he's doing it, but I'm sure he's going to figure out soon. And I don't know how or when he will meet Light face to face, but I'm sensing that maybe they're going to become frenemies somehow, because usually in anime that happens a lot. When you think you hate someone or if you think you're against them, eventually you get to understand that maybe you're alike somehow, but apparently they both think that they're justice somehow. But Light is committing mass murder, so I don't know how then he's justice. But yeah, and the thing is, the first victim's crime wasn't that bad. I think it was just a petty thing, but remember, he was just testing it at first to see if it's real, and then he found out. So I'm just going to get right into this reaction, guys. Make sure you drop a like, smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on post notifications as well if you're seeing this video and if you like what you see, and if you're enjoying these reactions.
I will hunt you down wherever you're hiding, and I will eliminate you. I am
Justice.
justice.
Dealings. Okay.
There are 14 people who claim to either know Kira or who have seen him. All 14 accounts were followed up on and carefully documented. However, nobody could provide any information that wasn't already publicly available.
Upon further investigation, we have confirmed that information of the heart attack victims was in fact publicly available in Japan immediately prior to their deaths.
Okay.
Also, concerning L's request that we investigate the time of death for each victim, we found that all of them occurred between the hours of 4 p.m. and 2 a.m. on weekdays, local time, with 68% of them occurring between 8 p.m. and 12 a.m. Weekends and holidays appear to be the exception to this rule.
They're checking when he's actually doing the killings.
That information is extremely relevant for us. It suggests that given the times of death, our suspect could very well be a student.
He's figuring out that he's a student.
Here is only killing. Of course, this is mere speculation at this point, but still I recommend you re-examine any assumptions you've made as to whether or not our suspect could be a student.
Wow. This guy is too good.
Oh, right. Does anyone else have something they'd like to add?
Yes, sir. In the last few days throughout the world, but especially here in Japan, we've observed a dramatic decrease in the number of violent crimes committed.
Wow, because of what he's doing?
Well, I suppose it makes sense. We've suspected something like that would happen. Anything else?
No.
So
Well, that about sums up our report for
people are actually scared to commit crime too.
I would like you to go back and take a closer look at the exact way in which the victims' identities were made public. Be as thorough as possible.
In particular, I want to know if photos of the victims were made available to the public in Japan.
I'll leave it to you.
Oh, so he's literally trying to figure out if the person has to see,
You look like you could use one of these. Sleeping much?
if Light has to see the people that he's eliminating.
starting to take their toll.
He's trying to confirm it now. And I thought he knew for sure that he had to see the people,
Well, now that I think
meaning
about
their
it,
faces.
I'm sure everyone already knew that. I wanted to apologize.
What on earth are you talking about? If you'd gone on to say that we should commend Kira for doing such a great job of reducing violent crime, then yes, I might have had a little problem with that.
Oh no, no, I wouldn't. That would never happen.
I'm just kidding.
So, do you think you're ready to try a few on your own now?
Huh? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, sounds like Dad's home.
Welcome home, dear.
Dad's home?
He's home really early today.
Hey! Why don't you at least try the last problem by yourself?
I will, but maybe after dinner.
Yeah, right. Helping your sister with her homework, you sure are relaxed. Of course. Hey, glad you could join us for dinner. You hungry, Dad?
Yeah.
What? His dad is he's the detective.
So, Light, tell me, how are your studies going?
Everything's okay, I guess.
This is getting too
My
interesting.
brother's a genius.
I can't believe this.
But this case I'm working on now is really tough.
I see. Well, Daddy's a policeman.
Yes.
And that must be the reason why you're so confident. That's right. It's easy for me to hack into Dad's computer. We're on a home network, so I can copy the files I need without leaving a trace. This way I can keep track of their investigation. Well, isn't that interesting? Looks like the police are already beginning to suspect a student.
He knows now.
I
Wow.
guess that means you're in trouble.
He is.
If I write heart attack as the cause of death, then I should be able to write down all the details, including time of death afterwards, shouldn't I?
Oh.
Looks like I'll be able to provide you with more entertainment now.
So he's going to do something with the time of death, he said? Okay, I'll just continue watching. Oh yes, he's going to alter the time that it's supposed to happen, since you can put specific details. I see now what he's doing. He's trying to confuse Elle to make Elle think that he's not a student. I get it. Yo! But maybe Elle will figure out that he somehow has information.
Another 23 victims yesterday? Are these confirmed?
Yes.
The day before, there were another 23 victims. He's killing one off every hour on the hour.
Considering that this new pattern has been going on for 2 weekdays,
It does punch some holes in the theory that our suspect is a student.
Maybe not. Anybody can skip 2 days of school.
You're missing the point.
Okay.
It does appear less likely now that Kira's a student, but that's not the message he's sending by doing this.
What's he sending?
Cells why every hour. I believe Kira is telling us that not only can he kill from a distance, but he can also determine the time of death.
Yes. He can determine what time.
But something's not right. As soon as we began to suspect that Kira might be a student,
Yes.
the killings changed, as if to contradict that theory. Coincidence?
Exactly, Elle.
Too convenient. This can only mean that Kira has access to police information.
I knew he would figure it
It's
out.
obvious now.
He has information, he has access.
If Elle's as good as they say, by now he should be starting to suspect someone with connections to the police.
Yes, he's really good. I guess you
Kira
figured
has
it
found
out
a
too.
way to obtain information from the task force headquarters. This is one fact that cannot be ignored. But what does he get out of all this?
What is he hoping to achieve in the end?
He's messing with you.
Well, my real agenda is to get close to L so I can eliminate him. How am I
Whoa.
gonna do that? You still don't understand human beings. In this world, there are very few people who actually trust each other. And it's no different for the police, you know. Think about it. Could you trust someone whose name and face you don't even know? When L discovers that I'm somehow getting confidential information, L will investigate the police, and they will be investigating L. I'm not the one who's going to find L. I can let the police do that for me. And when they do, that's when I'll eliminate him.
Yeah. So he's just messing with them, turning them against each other so that they do the work for him to find who L is. Yeah, makes sense.
With all due respect, Chief, we're resigning.
They're
We
resigning?
demand that you assign us to a different case. Otherwise, you can have our badges right here and now.
Why? You're good cops.
Isn't it clear? It's because we value our lives, sir.
They don't want to die.
Kira has some ESP-like power that somehow allows him to kill people indirectly
Mm-hmm.
from anywhere.
Well, if I were Kira, sir, I'd probably want to try and get rid of the people who are trying to catch me.
Let's face it, he knows he'll be sentenced to death if he's caught.
We all sat here and watched when L decided to pull that media stunt and challenge Kira to kill him. Well, it was all very impressive at the time. But then again, L never had to show his face or reveal his
Oh,
name.
yes, it's
I'm sure you
working.
recall
His
L's
plan is
last
working.
request. He asked that we take a closer look at how these victims' identities were made public, and specifically to determine whether photos of the victims were available to the public prior
They
to
get
the
it.
events.
They know that.
Well, it turns out he was right. Every single one of those victims' names and photos were broadcast to the Japanese public, and then they died. Unlike some we know, we're out there investigating this case wearing police IDs with our names and photos on them.
Yes, but L is in the background.
We don't
No one
hide our
knows what he
faces.
looks
We're out in
like.
the open.
Nobody knows his name.
The truth is, we could be killed by Kira at any time.
Yes.
For these reasons, we refuse to continue working this case. Excuse us, Chief.
Hey, stop! All of you!
Why?
Hold it right there!
They don't want to die. And you're safe, you know, because you're his dad. He's not gonna kill his
To
dad.
solve this problem, we need complex quadratic equations. We have to start thinking of large x's value as simply the multiple of two integers. Now, let's apply this concept.
What's happening? What's Ryuk looking at?
We brought the FBI to Japan 4 days ago. They're fully operational. As requested, they're now gathering intel on the police.
And this is the complete list?
Yes.
There are 141 people in the police force who have access to classified information regarding the investigation. We will find our suspect.
Right. You got a second? I already told you, Ryuk. You can't talk to me in public. How many times do I have to tell you? In that case, I'll talk. You just listen. If you don't want to hear me, you can plug your ears or something. First of all, I don't have anything against you. I actually think the notebook couldn't have been picked up by a better person. I'm here because I have to stick around till the death note is finished, or I see you die, whichever comes first. But make no mistake, Light, I'm not on your side or L's side.
So you're
I
neutral?
knew that much already. You'll never hear me say anything about whether what you're doing is right or wrong. I'm not here to support you or give you my opinion. I'm just a spectator. But as your roommate, I might have a few things to say now and then. What's this about, Ryuk? Why are you telling me all this stuff now anyway? The only reason I'm gonna tell you this is because personally it's starting to creep me out.
What?
Get to the point already.
He's creeped
You're
out?
being followed by another human. He's watching you right now.
Oh, that's the reason, because he's creeped out about someone that's following Light. Yeah, someone is literally watching him. So that's what he noticed at school.
I realize there's no way he can see me. But because I'm always following behind you wherever you go, I feel like I'm constantly being watched. That's a problem. I'll have to get rid of him as soon as possible.
How? You'll have to see his face and know his name.
Following me. Does this mean Elle is already starting to suspect the police?
Yes, he is.
Even if he has as many as 50 people on the case, I don't see how they could ever figure out that I'm Kira. I I shouldn't look like anything other than your average high school senior.
Yes, but remember, he thinks you're a student.
Above all, I need my stalker's name. Once I figure that out, I can get rid of him for good.
Light.
But isn't that going to make you more suspicious?
A little secret. What makes a Shinigami and a human who has a death note different? Well, there are two things. And why do Shinigami have to write the names of humans in their death notes? You got any ideas?
Of course not. Why would I know that? You know, you sure are talkative today.
It's because we are able to take human lifespans for ourselves. Now those 20 years taken from someone in the human world are added to that god of death's life.
Oh,
so it means that as
interesting.
long as we don't slack off, even if someone was to shoot us in the head or stab us in the heart with a knife, a god of death cannot die. On the other hand, no matter how many names you write in your death note, your lifespan will not increase. That is the first difference between gods of death and humans who possess a death note.
That's something about Shinigami that I haven't heard before.
Pretty interesting stuff. The second difference between us will probably be of even greater interest to you.
Really?
Though this has less to do with lengthening life and more to do with cutting it short.
What do you mean cutting it short?
What?
Shinigami can tell what a person's name is by just looking at their face. We know instantly.
Whoa.
And do you have any idea why? Because through a Shinigami's eyes, a human's name can be seen above their head. Not only that, we see their lifespan as well.
What?
Their name and lifespan?
So you can...
That's right. I'm able to see your name and lifespan right now.
So...
If I converted that to human time, I could tell you how many years you've got left. But there's no way I'd ever tell you that. I may have a big mouth, but even I wouldn't go that far.
So if he sees L's face, he'll know his name immediately and he can tell Light.
Our eyes just aren't the same, and that is the difference between you and I.
It's the eyes.
However, if a Shinigami drops his death note and a human picks it up, he can grant that human the eyes of a Shinigami. But
How?
only if a deal is made, one
What?
that's been with us since ancient times.
What kind of deal?
What's the deal?
The price for having a Shinigami's eyes
What?
is half of that person's remaining lifespan. That's all it is.
Half of his lifespan?
Since you've made it clear you're not on anyone's side, and won't help me out, you wouldn't just give me the names of people I wanted to kill.
Yeah, he's not going to help him.
You're saying that I can't simply borrow your powers. I'd have to pay for them.
What?
That's right.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
part of the code that all Shinigami are bound by. I'll say this once more. Give me half your remaining lifespan, and I'll give you the Shinigami eyes.
If I agree, I'll be able to know everyone's name just by looking at them. If I had that power, the Death Note would only be easier to use.
Oh my gosh, this guy's crazy.
What'll it be like?
You don't know how long you live and you're given half? Wait, what? How come it finished so fast? I thought it was every time that happens. It happens every time. I can't believe it, guys. So he's considering giving half of his lifespan to Ryuk so that he can use the Death Note even better without, you know, seeing the person's picture. Well, you just need to see their face, meaning you don't have to see just their face and their name. No, you don't have to see the name as well, because just seeing their face, you'll know their name right off the bat. That's an interesting power to have. But wouldn't you want to know your lifespan first? Wouldn't you want to know your lifespan, like, before you agree to those terms to give, you know, Ryuk half of your lifespan? Because what if you're going to die in, like, you know, 10 years from now? So you'll give him, like, 5 years of that? I don't know, man. I don't know if that makes sense. He's not even scared in the slightest to do that. I don't know. Light is really just he's a very interesting character because he's in high school. How can you just decide right off the bat to do that? Like, so you're telling me you don't care about living longer? You prefer to have the power right now and just risk it all. I guess he knows what he wants and he has no other goals in life. He just wants to do this that he's doing with the Death Note, get rid of, bad people in his eyes. And yeah, until the day he dies, I guess. This is his destiny. He wants to do it fully and he doesn't care about giving half of his lifespan away just to see your name without you telling him your name. But I can see why it's a huge responsibility and he's already in all this, so it makes sense for him to think like that. He's already deep in and he has a lot of target on his back, so him doing this is really, it makes sense for him, I guess. And he's tough, he has the guts, and he's just ready to go all in as far as he can go. So I guess he decided then and there that there's no going back. But I can't believe Ryuk is so neutral. I thought he would help Light to, figure out, I thought he would tell Light the people's names by just looking at their faces, right? But no, he's literally saying that he's not going to help him. He's neutral in all this. He's just a spectator. He's not helping him at all. So when I was saying in episode 2 that he's going to be working along with him, I took back my words actually. I said, nah, there's a bond between them because of the book. That's what I said. So I was right about that Ryuk is not even of help. Even though he gave him some information just now. But the thing is, if Ryuk is not benefiting, he's not going to help him just out of his good heart. So something has to be in it for him, like getting the lifespan, as a Shinigami. Well, I really like the way this episode was too, because L is just right there figuring out everything. When Light makes a move, L makes his move on the chessboard. So when he did that thing with his father, showing that he has access to information in the police force, L figured it out right away. And he even figured out before that he's a student. And that's just awesome. And now the police force is all in chaos because these people, they figured out, the entire police force now, they figured out that L is the only one that hasn't revealed his face or his name. So he's not in any danger. And they're the ones doing the rest of the work where they're just out in the open with their ID, their names as the police force and stuff. So Light can just eliminate them at any time. And that's really important information to know in the police force as a person working on the case. So those guys backing out, I wouldn't say they're cowards. I'm thinking that's actually making sense because in the end, you don't want to die. It's just human nature. You're built to survive. So, and I know it's their job to do, to get rid of this person that's doing this. But this person also is kind of making their job easier because he's also getting rid of a lot of criminals still. And the crime rate is lower now. It's not high, like that guy said. So I don't know why, if you think about it, why would you want to go against this guy anymore? Just work on other cases then. So I can agree with them as to why they would want to come off that case and just do other police work instead. Because they're out there, their identity and everything is out there. And the guy in charge, Light's father, that was an interesting take as well, to know that Light's father is literally head of the police. He's head, yeah, he's top in the police force. So he's not going to die because Light won't kill him. But why? Well, there has to be a reason as to why that guy is following Light, because L had the picture of Light's dad, his file at the front, so he's the first person that he's investigating apparently, as to if he's the one that's causing the access to the files. And I'm thinking he's going to figure it out, because he's the only one with, no, he's not the only one, but maybe he's going to see that this top police officer or detective, whatever he is, lieutenant or whatever, he has a son, he's a student, he's top of his class, stuff like that. And yeah, he's a student, he matches it. But for the rest of the police force, do they have children his age? I'm wondering. But somehow he's going to figure it out. That guy that's watching Light too, maybe he saw that Light was talking to himself. I don't know. So he's going to maybe think that that's kind of strange and stuff like that. So I'm just going to see what's going to happen in episode 4 soon. And thank you guys so much for watching this episode with me. And remember, you can check out the full uncut version of my reaction on Patreon, on Gen X World Patreon. I'll put the link in the description. You might not be able to click it, or, well, you might. Yeah, I'm going to put the link in the description so that you can check it out. Also, you'll have to line up your copy of Death Note with my reaction. Yeah, well, I think that's it. That's all I'm going to cover. Let me know what you thought about this episode and your reaction as well when you saw certain things revealing themselves, like the father being, like the police guy being Light's father, and yeah, and other stuff. Make sure you smash the like button, guys, and subscribe if you're watching my videos. Just subscribe already, join the journey, and turn on post notifications. Bye.